Let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go, 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 go! Six! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you here as you start your weekend. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com and the Rush Radio Android app or the Rush Radio TuneIn app, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you get all our content when it comes out. You can also like this video, leave your comments in the comment section, and have a little bit of fun with us. And follow us on our social media channels, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Good morning there, Ross Peterson. What's going on?
Not much, man. Not much. Getting settled in on a Friday. Got a fun Friday planned. Going golfing with some buddies, some people that you know.
Oh, really?
I'm golfing with Bill Blank. Got invited to golf with Bill Blank and Chris Shipley and Elias Johnson.
Really?
Yeah.
Gonna talk fairway? Do some sales while you're out there.
chat with you know me, dude. Probably just gonna chat with Elias about life and kids and what's going on. I haven't talked to Elias in a long time. I always enjoy my time being around him. And Chris Shipley. Did I say Chris Shipley?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, all right. Shipley's I think he's the one that put it together.
So you're gonna have to mentally prepare me because I talked to Bill Blank yesterday via text. And I'm doing his fair show on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So, anything I need to be prepared for? Any gotcha questions that he's going to come after me on?
No. No, it's a pretty cool thing. Bill has he has a lady doing like a fashion thing for him, dressing him up every day so he looks good because we all need that help. And so he does like a fit check with her to start the show. Chats with his co-host Steph about what they've been doing. You'll be on the last one then Saturday night.
So I guess I'm going on at 5:00.
Oh, they've moved it up. Look at you. Okay, have fun.
Well, and I don't know. That's because it's Saturday. Because I was like, okay, how long is this going to take? Because it's going to be a pretty long day for me, and I got to drive 2 hours over and 2 hours back. So I said, hey, what does this look like? He goes, you'll be done by 5:45. He goes, it's 5 to 5:45, so it must be a 45-minute show. Is that?
Yeah, and you'll be on. You'll sit there and watch the first 10, 15 minutes or so, and then jump on with them.
So, just a question for logistics: where do they do the show? Because I'll be at JR South Fork Ranch, Owen's band, and this is open invitation to anybody. The Owen Justice Band going to be playing from 2:30 to 4:30 at JR South Fork Ranch. So that's where I'm going to be parked watching the band. How far of a walk do I got to go?
What if I told you only have about 50 yards not being in the shade? Now, you got a little bit of a walk. You're going to have to cross the street, but then there's a little shaded plaza that goes up the hill towards the county Mid-American stage. So where Crow's Nest is.
Okay, I know. I know where you're at.
You got to go up the hill there, kind of by where if you're looking at it from a big thing, where the windmill is. So the cultural center is it's the county cultural center. It's named, I think, for Drew's mom and dad, and it is not named for that, but anyway, that's the big white building up on the hill. It's air conditioned. It's 3 floors. Aunt Jeanette is going to love it. It's all art. It's all of the bottom floor is pictures. They have doll houses. Second floor, they've got like where you can get henna tattoos and they can lay stuff in your hair. All the woodworking stuff is there. The drawings, it's cool. Cultural center's neat, and again, air conditioned. So when it is really hot, it's a really, really nice spot.
So if it's supposed to be really hot tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be hot and humid tomorrow. So I'm sure a lot of people will be like, I need some relief. I'm going to go up to the cultural center. I don't think I've ever been to the cultural center because I don't tend to walk up the hill.
When you get
lazy.
When you get to the hill, when you get up there, take a moment. You don't have to necessarily walk because the way that the traffic's going to funnel you, it's going to kind of funnel you into the side door. Okay. But as you're walking into the side door, I want you to just pause for a moment in front of the building and look up onto the steps of the cultural center. And there are these white pillars. That's one of the places I had my senior pictures taken.
Is that right? Senior picture, Ross.
One of the ones, the one like looking off into the distance.
Kind of like that thinker pose. You should have put your fist on your chin and given us that famous thinker pose.
Like I'm looking into my future. Confused, scared.
See, when the fair is all over, you should go back and like recreate that photo and bring out the Ross senior photo from what, 1996,
1996. Yeah.
6?
Probably wearing some Cosby type sweater. I bet I was wearing a sweater.
And the reason you should recreate it was probably, 30 years ago?
Oh, my God. It would have been, dude.
That you shot those photos.
It would have been.
Because you would have done it the fall of 25 or fall of 95.
Holy shit. No way.
Just bring Courtney down and go, okay, we just use your iPhone because that's probably a better camera than they used back in 1995.
Right, good point.
And recreate it. See if you could find the sweater.
No, it's long gone. Long gone.
You can go to a thrift shop. Let's go thrifting. Let's go to a vintage store.
Do you remember where you got your senior pictures taken?
Yeah, I was out in just kind of the farm fields of Iowa. I forget the name of the lady who took them, but she was a local photographer in Minden, and she had an acreage and stuff. So we went out to her farm, and took the photos out there. I used a suit. I told the story the other day how I had a gray suit with a white or a red tie because I read Art of the Deal by Donald Trump.
Remember that?
And tried to emulate Donald Trump.
I love it.
And then I wore my football jersey. I wore my baseball jersey. And I think I had a couple other change of clothes.
Yeah, see, I wasn't an athlete, so I couldn't do that classic athlete thing, where you got the ladder with the trophies and the Letterman's jacket.
I think I may have wore my Letterman's jacket.
I didn't have a cool car. Every night, if a kid has a cool car, they get the photo with like them and their car from their senior year.
I'm trying to think if I don't think I took a car photo. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I took it because I didn't have a cool car. I had a Buick Electra, 1978.
Yeah,
it was cool to me.
Well, when I graduated, I think I had a 1989 Chevy S10, which was a cool truck, black truck, chromed out. It was pretty cool, actually. I'm not sure if I had that when I graduated. I think I might have still been driving the not so cool urine yellow 1984 Chevy Cavalier.
Thing I remember about senior pictures back then, everything was still done on film. So you would actually get proofs, and then you'd have to pick what you wanted to order, and then it would take like another 3 months to get them printed to come in. Now it's your senior pictures. You have your photo shoot. About 12 hours later, you get all the photos, and they're edited. Like, here you go.
This is starting some great memories. First of all, Charlie, no, I didn't have a pet iguana, and yes, I do take that personal, okay? Charlie says, Ross strikes me as the kid that had a pet iguana that he took his picture with. Jerk. How about this?
Charlie, that means you're not listening to the show very closely because earlier in the week, we talked about snakes and people who had lizards and all that stuff. Ross wasn't on board with the lizard kings.
You shouldn't have any pets you can't take for a walk. Fish aren't pets. Birds, they're pets. They're captives. Mike says, my senior photos are tainted. Girlfriend's mom took my photos and I broke up with her daughter a couple of months later and broke her heart. So now every time Mike sees the photos, he imagines his ex-girlfriend's mom saying, Mike, smile for me. Oh, what a great smile. What a great smile. I know why my daughter loves that face so much.
You make my daughter so happy. Oh, let's just call her Amber. He thinks about Amber every time he sees her. Brian had a pea green 73 Maverick. Horrible memory. At one point, we had I wouldn't say it was a pea green. I would say, well, more of a lime green, but not as limey as what you see today. El Camino. I wish we would have never got rid of that car.
That car was badass. El Camino. El Camino. The front is like a car. The back is like a truck. The front is where I drive. The back is where I El Camino. El.
Well, the thing about the El Camino is, back when you were driving those, they were kind of a dorky car, right? I mean, it was like, but now the El Camino is a cool car.
They were. It got a bad rap.
It did.
And then didn't somebody came up? Was it Subaru that had like the Baja?
Yeah.
That was the same thing. Front is a car, back is a truck.
Well,
and now there's a couple of them. Now there's a couple of them that are out there. The
Hyundai has the Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
I actually drove one the other day. My buddy owns a car a lot, so I went down to just talk to my buddy Scott Barrett, and he had a Santa Cruz down there, which was kind of like the green of our El Camino. And I'm like, I got to buy this. I have to buy this.
When you say the green, you mean it's electric?
No, the color of it. So the paint scheme. It reminded me a lot of our El Camino. So I call my wife. I said, I'm gonna buy this Santa Cruz. It looks just like our El Camino. She goes, I don't want a Santa Cruz. So then I put my head down and walked away. Probably a good move.
I'm disappointed in your negotiating skills
with my wife. There is no negotiating with my wife.
First thing went through my mind when she says, I don't want a Santa Cruz, I would have said, do you want to go to Italy?
Well, I didn't want the Santa Cruz that bad. I was probably buying it or looking at it more because it was this nostalgic thing.
You didn't have to take away the cruise, the trip to Italy. You didn't have to. You just threaten it. You just got to threaten it. This is how you manipulate people into getting what you want, Travis.
See, Ross, my wife knows me well enough.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And, I've learned because I was such a jerk for the good portion of our first 25 years of marriage. I've become somewhat of a pushover.
You burned up all your tricks is what happened.
I burned up everything I could, and it no longer works.
I think that clinicians would say she sees through your bullshit. I think that's the medical term for it.
It's a good way. That's a very good way to put it. And she's learned over years on how to stand up to me.
I like this. The senior pictures memory you popped into my head. Coach Hurst says, I wore a Sonny Crockett colored outfit, but my parents wouldn't let me get it. My parents wouldn't let me go strapped. He had on the Miami Vice outfit, but he wanted to wear the gun.
I don't blame him. I had the Sonny Crockett outfit. I remember my wife will tell you that I showed up at like a graduation with like the all white suit, turquoise shirt, boat shoes, no socks. That was before I was a senior.
Mike says your yearbook photos are on archive.org. Archive.org apparently has all of the East High yearbooks.
I bet you look 10 years old,
dude. Legit. I look like a child. I was a kid. I mean, I hadn't hit puberty yet. No. Child.
I had a strange thing happen to me last night. I was took Greta and Anjanette to the club for dinner. And so we were sitting there. A friend of mine comes in with his wife, who I've met several times. And he's talking to me, but she's not saying many words to me. She goes, hey, good. Yeah, good to see you. They go away. 10 minutes later, she comes back. She goes, I have to apologize. I go, why? She goes, I didn't know who you were. I go, well, okay. She goes, you've lost so much weight. I did not know who you were. And then you may notice I wear these like wristbands for scare away cancer. She goes, oh my God, you're sick. I'm so sorry. I go, I'm not sick. I'm not sick. It was just like, oh.
Listen, so I think it's okay for people to think, oh, is everything okay? When everything's okay. When you can go, yeah.
Well, you know me. If I was sick, I would just openly.
I absolutely. And I also know that what you've done, I mean, I know that you buckled down. So anyway, good for you, Trav. Good for you. Looking good.
See
man.
the salad I'm eating right now? That's why. Because lettuce and steak tips are about as good as it gets lately. You went to Lawrence, Kansas yesterday. How was your road trip?
I did. Yeah, fine, man. I loved it. I mean, I like windshield time anyway. Went down. That was my first like helping out with a college move-in experience. It very good like system that they had in place. Didn't take long. Wasn't as chaotic as people make it out to be. She's living in a big room with four kids. 3 other girls are in this room with her. So it was a lot of parents and people and, boyfriends and, just a lot of bodies in that room helping out. And it went fine. Had a good
Was
time.
that your first time to Lawrence?
Yes. Yeah.
So
cool
it's a beautiful
town,
campus.
dude. Absolutely. And her dorm sits way up on this bluff and you can see, like, I swear to God, you could see Arizona from this hill we were on. It was really cool. I did enjoy it. It was a nice day. Had a nice lunch. A couple of the girls that she's living with are from Lawrence, so I was able to ask one of the dads, like, "Where do you guys eat lunch?" He recommended this little burger spot. We went to that. It was really good. And
on Mass Street, was it on Massachusetts?
No, it was kind of off. It was about 10 minutes off campus.
Okay,
but it was in a cool little, like I would call it like a I guess Valley Junction or Galena type of, a little vintage area, which was neat. And then, so one of the places that they'd recommended, though, was a brewery that I'd heard of called Free State Brewery, right? And then we drove to this burger shack, and we're driving back to the dorm, and we go past this record show stop, and it's called Free State Records. I'm like, well, what's that? It like, is Kansas the free state? Do you know why in Lawrence?
I don't.
Dude, it's a great story.
Because you had to go down the rabbit hole, didn't you? You're like, okay, I got to find this out.
My first instinct was like, well, there was this abolitionist. Kansas was one of the major hotspots for the Civil War. And primarily because of, and again, this guy named John Brown, who was a major abolitionist. He literally saw his life as God brought me here to end slavery. He literally thought, through hell or high water, during my time on this earth, we're going to end slavery.
And he was a big part of the Underground Railroad, right?
He was. Yeah, he was good friends with Harriet Tubman. He was one of the first people. He called her General Tubman. He gave great respect to Frederick Douglass. He was known to have Frederick, like, he was good buddies with him. And he was a badass, dude. He was an absolute badass. He's the guy that is responsible for Harper's Ferry. That's what kind of one of the things that started the Civil War, where he went and stole a bunch of guns so that the North actually could arm themselves against the South. And he was from Lawrence, Kansas. And so he was the first governor of Kansas.
I did not know that.
So so that's what Free State is, a reference to all of that. That when John Brown became the governor, he tried to declare Kansas is going to be a free state. Now, of course, he ended up dying. He ended up getting killed because of. He ended up getting killed in a battle that was leading up to the Civil War. So didn't quite live long enough to see, but his obviously, without him, who knows if we ever would have got where we were. Heard of the Lincoln Douglas debates?
Yep.
That Douglas was a guy from Chicago that John Brown fought all the time. All the time. Douglas was a huge proponent of slavery. So anyway, John Brown, that was what, and we got back and I asked one of the dad, I'm like, hey, one of the places you recommended was Free State. We went past this Free State thing. He's like, yeah, so with this abolitionist, John Brown. I was like, yes, I know about him. But then I listened to a podcast on the way home.
Well, and the reason that you brought up John Brown, and we're going down this rabbit hole. You know, I mentioned when I drove back from Mississippi last week, or was it 2 weeks ago now? We went through the southern part of Iowa, and we started learning about how the Underground Railroad was a big part of Iowa, and they were being funneled from Kansas, and it kind of started in Tabor, Iowa.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And Tabor is on the western half. But part of it was John Brown spent a lot of time in Tabor setting up, how they were going to move slaves and African Americans to freedom.
The guy from Iowa, the Pinkerton Agency is the thing to look up from Iowa. The Pinkerton Agency was what John Brown came to when he came to Tabor. He worked with. I want to say John Pinkerton, but I might be wrong about his first name. But these were dudes that were abolition. He was a guy that was an abolitionist in the U.S. or in Iowa that helped establish that Underground Railroad to get people into free states.
So because you helped move. So how was mom on the drive home? You're taking.
I mean, let's and that their dad's a friend of mine also, right? And so that.
Was he there as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Dude, I love life. Like, I love watching. I like seeing people experience things. And it's not that I like seeing people be sad by any stretch, but man, these are two people that should be very, very proud of the job they've done as parents. Their kids are great, great kids, and to see that moment, of pride. But I got to turn this kid loose, 100 miles plus from home. And here I go. And I got to get in the car and drive away. That seeing my friend and my girlfriend go through that yesterday, it was a special day, man.
It is special. And it's also cool to kind of watch the kids. Cause when you walk out the door, it's like, okay, now you start growing up. Now you're kind of on your own. You got to figure out problems. Dad's not going to be there to pick up the pieces. It's just one of those things where.
Look, can I tell you the moment that it was like, this is the deep end right away. This is the deep end. So we got there. We got back to the dorm, and Ashlyn's boyfriend Drew is going to go say goodbye, and he goes into and they kind of go into the room, and they're just giving the little. But in the room is also the roommate.
Oh,
here we go. Deep end of dorm life right away. Right? There's the roommate relaxing in bed, hanging out. That's her space. And here's couple trying to have a little bit of an intimate moment. Like, oh yeah, I'm watching dorm life, and just a microcosm of it for a moment. That thing of like, oh yeah, we have to live two different existences in this tiny little space here, don't we? It reminded me of the and I told this joke the other day, and Bill Blank told me I'm actually giving credit to the wrong comedian, so I won't give credit to the guy that I'd given it to. But when smoking first became illegal in the state of Iowa, and I mean inside, you can still smoke in Iowa.
Yeah,
you just gotta go outside. There was a comedian, and he was a smoker, and he gets up on stage and he's like, "This new law is the dumbest thing I've ever. It's not healthy. This is really stupid. It's 4 degrees outside, and I have to go stand outside where it's 4 degrees to smoke a cigarette. And I'm standing outside just now, and I'm smoking a cigarette. It's 4 degrees, and I look up, and coming up over the hill is some dude running, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him." And I take a drag off my cigarette, and at the exact same time, we both go, what an idiot.
So true. So true. 515-517-2303. That's the number to call if you want to call in and have a conversation with us. A lot to get to today on this Friday. Of course, Michigan it's Judgment Day for Michigan. The Associated Press announces his all-time first-team college football team. There's an Iowa player on that list. Probably not. I was actually kind of surprised. It wasn't the one I would have picked. I see it. I understand it.
Oh, now I'm interested who you would pick. Who would you put on the all-time All-American team from Iowa? That's an interesting question.
Well, let's put it this way. I'll give you a hint. It's the same position.
I wondered if it wouldn't be. I wondered.
But
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. But we'll go through that. And
right.
Marshawn Lynch has a new cookbook out that Ross pointed out to me 30 seconds before we went on the air. And we got it's interesting to see Marshawn Lynch putting out a cookbook.
I'm glad you felt the same way about it when I sent it to you that I did. When I pulled it up, I went, wait.
It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
I love working with guests because I'm a people person. I love helping solve issues.
I like working with guests is the little conversations you have back and forth prior to what you recommend. People from other parts of the United States, you know.
All the guests are super nice. They're very friendly.
Just meeting new people along the way. I think it's kind of fun.
My favorite part working about Willis is the environment. I love all my coworkers.
The cars we see here, I'm a very, I like the old vintage cars that we get.
Honestly, I just love the culture here. I love that it feels like it's a family-run company, because it is.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Friday, the 15th of August. Good to have you here. Ross drinking out of his Rush Radio coffee mug. Do you want a Rush Radio coffee mug? You want a Rush Radio t-shirt? You want a Let's Make Lemonade t-shirt? You want a black and gold Rush t-shirt? Just go to therushradio.com and click on the merch tab. Get yourself some merch. Good way to start your weekend is getting some merch where 15% of our profits go to Can Play. Can Play. Getting ready to send Can Play the first check.
Do you clean the inside of your coffee mug, or do you just let the flavor build up like that?
I clean it every single day.
Yeah, no.
That's nasty, dude.
I love it.
That is nasty.
That's how you get all the flavor.
So the inside of the Rush Radio coffee mug is solid white. And Rosh looks like he hasn't maybe washed that in like
I actually have. Yeah. I actually have. But it is
515-517-2303. You sent me a link of an artist.
Yeah, this is a perfect segue into the Troy Taylor or into the Iowa conversation that you wanted to have. I've met this guy a while back I think the first time I met Randy was at a wrestling event. Maybe Randy will remember the first time we met. Every now and again, you'll be at a state wrestling tournament or you'll be at some sort of event and you'll see this artist there. His booth is called Under the Kitchen. His name is Randy Engel. He's been a listener of ours for a long time. Travis, incredibly talented dude. And I guess he's calling in here. He reached out and said he's got an event coming in. I said, dude, just buzz us, and you can tell us. Randy, thanks for giving us time, man. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. Take us. So I want to start so people can understand what it is that you do. Did you start just by painting in your basement?
Yeah, I turned around and painted the whole basement into making it Kinnick Stadium. And I even took out the carpet and replaced it with actual turf that has the Iowa logo on it. And then I painted players all the way around it. I've had several players come down and sign the walls. Cooper DeJean and Tim Dwight and Chuck Long have all been there and signed the walls.
How does that happen, Randy? I mean, when you walk up to somebody and go, "Hey, you want to come to my basement?" Well, what's their first reaction?
Sign my wall.
They've all been pretty good about it. Tim Dwight, when we were going down the steps, he was like, "I am going to come out of here, right?" But he stayed and talked to us for my wife and I for like 30 minutes.
Oh, that's cool.
He was pretty cool about it. But yeah, I mean, all three of those I've had it like NIL deals with, where I do artwork of them and then make art prints and then sell the art prints with their signatures on them, and then they get money on the back end when I sell them.
So that's cool. I mean, this is is what I thought NIL would be, right? I mean, Randy paints these nice pictures. Do you keep the original and then, or do you sell the originals as well?
I usually give the originals to them for working with me. added bonus for working on a project with me. I usually give them the artwork.
It's very cool.
How did you get into this, Randy? I mean, did you go to art school? My daughter's getting ready to go to art school. I mean, or were you one of these guys just naturally gifted and said, you know what, I'm going to start painting?
I mean, I've always been a big drawer and stuff, but I turned around and went to DMAC's commercial art program. They have a really good commercial art program over in Ankeny, and they did a lot for me. I mean, I was one class shy of my degree, but the things that I learned there really were beneficial to me and helped me out. So I turned around and had one of the guys that I know turn around, and when they came out with the NIL at first, and he said, you should get with some of these athletes and turn around and do artwork of them and sell them. So that's what I've been doing. I've been at Fry Fest the last 3 years. This will be the 4th year, and that's a really good thing for me.
Is that what you're doing this weekend, Randy? You've got an event coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, this weekend is the first time I've ever done this before, but I've partnered up with the Hy-Vee in Coralville on Lantern Park, and I'm going to turn around and have Stephen Buchanan and Angelo Ferrari, both wrestlers at Iowa, turn around, and they're going to be there from an hour for 3 to 4 on Sunday, and they're going to sign the art prints, and you can get them signed in person, take a picture with them. So that I'm hoping that'll be a really good event, and people come out and support it. And I really appreciate Hy-Vee allowing that to take place in their store.
So if people want to look at your artwork, where can they find the artwork?
It's called underthekitchen.square.site. I don't have the 2 new ones up there yet, but they will be once I get them signed. I'll post them, and I'm also doing one of Reese Vanderzee and Logan Jones that are going to be ready for Fry Fest.
So how long does each print take, or how long does each painting take you? I'm just curious.
Usually I say it takes about 55 hours to do one of them.
Okay. Wow.
It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience.
Randy, thanks a lot for calling in, and I'm glad I was able to share this with Travis, because a lot of Hawkeye fans. My buddy Dusty told me he's got a couple of your prints. He's got Spencer Lee and Drake Ayala.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man. He does fantastic work. I'm a big fan. Keep it up, Randy, and glad hope some folks can say hi to you, man.
One more time though, Randy. What day again in Coralville, and how long are you going to be there?
It's August 17th, which is Sunday, from 3 to 4 in Coralville, the Lantern Park Hy-Vee.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Good work.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Have a good day.
Underthekitchen.square.site. I find him by Googling Under the Kitchen Randy.
That's all it took? Under the Kitchen Randy.
I don't remember how I found it, but it was something like that. Yeah. I found him at a wrestling tournament. I turned a corner one day. I'm like, jeez, this is just some dude. This is some dude just sitting there drawing pictures they're really, really cool. So
yeah, it's great artwork. You'll probably find a play. He's got a Luke Lachey up there. He's got a Caleb Johnson up there. Lucas Van Ness, Spencer Lee. He's got a Chuck Long there. So
good transition into the conversation you wanted to have here, right?
The Associated Press put out its all-time first-team All-Americans, right? And I'm like, okay, there's probably not going to be an Iowa State player in there. There's probably not going to. I was actually thinking there's probably not going to be an Iowa player, because we're talking about, and they go back a long time. They go back to the 1940s. So you're talking about every player that's ever played in college football. And you're like, now the Big Ten had the most first-team All-Americans. The SEC had the second most, which is no surprise. But I get to the first-team defense. And I get all the way down. The last one, Ross, is punter. And Torrey Taylor from Iowa 2023 is an Associated Press all-time first-team All-American. And I couldn't argue with it, but my mind when I started reading this article was I went straight to Reggie Roby. I'm thinking Ray Guy might be. I think Ray Guy might have been probably more famous for his NFL career than his college career.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Growing up, Reggie Roby was the deal. He was the deal.
Reggie Roby, I no Hawkeye fan would have batted an eye if you'd have put Reggie Roby on there. It's awesome to have a Hawkeye. Tory Taylor's a good representative. If I said you had to find another Hawkeye to try to make a case for an all-time team, can I make a case that I want a special teams position, or maybe for the all-purpose, I want Tim Dwight?
I could see that.
I think is that our best argument for an all-time team? An all-timer. Chuck Long's right there. Chuck Long was the second closest Heisman race of all time to Bo freaking Jackson. But with quarterbacks, there's just so many great careers that would be ahead of his.
And by the way, Bo Jackson isn't even a first-team All-American on the all-time list.
Right. Barry Sanders and Herschel Walker were the running backs, right?
Yes. Two pretty darn good quarterbacks or running backs.
Amazing college running backs. Charlie has a good one for the Hawkeye. Some good ones are coming in now for the Hawkeyes. Rev says Andre Tippett. I don't know if you maybe make an argument. Bob Sanders. How about Robert Gallery? Robert Gallery was an amazing offensive lineman. Jay might have a guy that we would have a good case for, Nate Kading. All of these are hard cases to win because again, Sebastian Janikowski, he was
pretty darn good kicker.
60-yard field goals in college. Sean writes in Larry Station. See, that's one of those. That's just before because that's early 80s, right?
Very early 80s. Omaha Central grad. Still lives in Omaha. A quiet dude, just keeps to himself. But let's look at the linebacker spot. Here's your first team linebackers. Dick Butkus, pretty darn good player. Ross. Derek Thomas out of Alabama, really good player. Chris Spielman out of Ohio State, really good player.
There's very few guys on this team that you don't go, oh, he's a Hall of Famer. There's very few guys on this that you can't look at it and go, wait, is he more famous for his NFL career? Yeah, because they were great players. Brett with a great one. Can't we make a case that Dallas Clark was one of the greatest college tight ends of all time? Who are the tight ends?
Well, there's only one tight end. It's Brock Bowers from Georgia.
Who the hell is Brock Bowers? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the all-purpose in Tim Dwight, and Johnny Rodgers from Nebraska, your 1972 Heisman Trophy winner, is the all-purpose player. Yeah. And Johnny was, they have the Jet Award that goes to the all-purpose player every single year. And again, let's just go down the list. We'll start with the offense. And it's hard to argue with any of these. There's no way I could go, okay, this guy doesn't belong on there. Right? Wide receivers, Randy Moss out of Marshall, Larry Fitzgerald out of Pittsburgh.
It's an unbelievable talents, as we can say with every one of these guys. But can I push back on the Randy Moss thing a little bit?
Because he played for Marshall?
He had to bounce around. He didn't have he had a great couple of years. I wouldn't say he had but an amazing talent. One of my favorites of all time. Absolute freak. Yeah. So I don't have a problem with it. I just saw that and I was like, he was in the Heisman Trophy running from Marshall. I'll shut up. I'll shut up. Thanks, John. John says finished 5th in the Heisman from Marshall as a receiver. I'll shut up. I forgot he's out there hurdling dudes.
Yeah, he was by far the best player on Marshall's team. Your offensive tackles: Orlando Pace out of Ohio State, Bill Fralick out of Pittsburgh. I'm not familiar with Fralick. I should be, but I'm not. because he played from 82 to 84. So
most of the offensive line are guys from like the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah. John Hanna is a guard from Alabama, 1972. Jim Parker from Ohio State, 1956. Your center is Chuck Bednarik, who played at Penn, yes, an Ivy League school, 1947 and 1948. The quarterback one I have a problem with. I really do.
Okay.
Your first team, All-American, all-time, Associated Press, quarterback, Tim Tebow out of Florida. I don't know why I have a problem with it, but I do. I think of all the great quarterbacks that have been a part of college football, if you were to ask me to come up with my top 5, which I probably should have done before we went on the air, I don't know if Tim Tebow would have been even in my top 5.
Really? Wouldn't have been in your top 5? Yeah, I have absolutely no. I love Tim Tebow. Wasn't a great NFL quarterback. There's no doubt about that. But man, the dude was an amazing college quarterback. If you come up with a trait that you want from a college quarterback, Tim Tebow exemplifies the trait. You don't need a guy that can throw the ball 85 yards. You don't need a guy that can drop a ball into a window. You need a guy that can compete, that can win, that can make plays, that can lead a group of goofballs around the field, that can rally, that can herd all the cats all the time. And nobody did it as consistently for as long as Tim Tebow did it. He might, again, was he the prototype? Was he Peyton Manning? No. I mean, just real quickly here. Heisman Trophy winner in 2007, 2 BCS national championships in 06 and 08, finished his career with nearly 10,000 passing yards, 88 touchdowns, almost 3,000 rushing yards, and 57 rushing touchdowns. That's just the first paragraph of like, hey, Tim Tebow was a dynamic. Like you said, none of these guys you can look at and go, oh, they're awful. They don't deserve it. And I do think there are other guys in college that have had. There's been so many great college quarterbacks. I don't remember any of them that were constantly in the running for Heisman Trophy, constantly had their team in the conversation for winning a national title, kept their nose out of trouble, kept their teammates on the straight and narrow. I like Tim Tebow. I have no problem with it at all. Who would you pick?
It's a type of quarterback you want, right? I mean, and that's the thing is, are you looking at, a straight drop back passer? Are you looking at a dual threat? What are you looking at? Dusty says, give me Vince Young, Mike Vick, or even Peyton Manning as college quarterbacks. And you're going to call me a homer here because I live in the state. Tommy Frazier is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever been around.
Dude, I think that's fair to say. When you just say college quarterback, Tommy, yeah, that's fair to say. With the system that he ran, the dude was incredible.
Well, and
fair.
Everybody thinks he was an option quarterback. He was not. That was actually probably the beginning of the spread offense, what people don't really understand if you go back and watch those days. Now, Eric Crouch won the Heisman Trophy. He couldn't hold a candle to Tommy Frazier as far as the way he managed a game. And Tommy started 4 years. 4 years. Came in as a freshman.
Tom, that'd be a good one. But again, if those are your metrics of like, oh man, look at how good he was as a playmaker, and look, he was a 4-year starter. Tim Tebow did all that, won national titles and Heisman trophies, right?
Tommy won a national title as well. 1-2.
Yep. 1-2. Wow.
Yeah.
This is almost like a conversation about your favorite fighter of all time. Because are you talking career or in a moment?
That's a good point.
Because Vince Young, when Dusty says Vince Young, when you said that name right away, I went, oh, wait a minute. If I have to win one game and you can give me Rose Bowl Vince Young versus USC, I win that game. I don't care who. You can have Tommy Frazier, Travis Hunter, and Tim Tebow. I'll kick your ass. You give me Vince Young from that But would I want Vince Young career? Charlie, Tim Tebow 1-2. Yeah, okay. So, but would I want Vince Young career or would I want Vince Young? So, like, when you say favorite, when I say favorite, yeah, when I say favorite heavyweight of all time, I instantly say Mike Tyson. Well, Mike Tyson wouldn't beat Muhammad Ali. Oh, in a moment he would. Over the course of their career, no. But in a moment, in that first round, I'll take my Bulldog. So that's what you got to decide. Are we playing a game or am I doing a dynasty mode? Dynasty mode, I want Tim Tebow. Playing a game, I'll take Vince Young.
And the reason this just becomes, kind of subjective in every Associated Press first team or any All-American team is because this is no different than a list. We talk about lists that get thrown together. And the Associated Press was smart because you sit there and go, okay, we're going to debate this. And you're going to become probably a little bit more educated about some of these players because there's a lot of people reading them going, I don't know who John Hanna is. I don't know who Chuck Bednarik is. He played in 1947. There's no way when you look at today's players compared to the players in the 40s that they could even athletically compete with them. Yeah, but if those players would have had the same training, same everything that's available to players today, would they be just as good? I want to believe they would be. I want to believe that. Your running backs, you've already mentioned them. Barry Sanders from Oklahoma State, Herschel Walker from Georgia. This would have been the one place to put an Iowa State player, and Dan McCarney talked about it the other day when he was on with us, and that would have been Troy Davis. But Troy Davis never won the Heisman. Hell, never went to a bowl game, right? I mean, they weren't great teams that he played on. So, your first team defense, your ends. Hugh Green out of Pittsburgh, he was a badass. He was so good. Randy White out of Maryland, 1974. Your tackles, Ndamukong Suh out of Nebraska, 2009. Hard to push back on that. He just dominated. Bronco Nagurski out of Minnesota in 1929.
1929.
Your linebackers, Dick Butkus, Derek Thomas, and Chris Spielman. We've already mentioned those. Cornerbacks, Charles Woodson out of Michigan, and Deion Sanders out of Florida State.
I mean, really, one of the only things that you could argue there would probably be Travis Hunter, but you'd be making a utility argument there. That's Charles Woodson and Deion Sanders were amazing.
Your safeties, Ronnie Lott out of USC. Yeah. Ed Reed out of Miami.
Ed Reed.
Go look at that Miami 2000-2001 football team.
It's unreal. There have been guys on podcasts talking about it. Like it's unbelievable. They're 3 deep with NFL dudes.
I remember because I covered the Rose Bowl that year. Miami played Nebraska in the national championship game, and you look back and you see it wasn't even a fair fight. It's just like, oh my God, this team is loaded with talent.
We did talk about the tight ends. Brock Bowers from Georgia. Yeah. Sean wanted to know if we mentioned the tight end. And then Torrey Taylor was as the punter. Last name on there. It's a fun list. That's a fun thing to go through. And yeah.
You wonder how many former players are All-Americans right now. Like, why am I not on that list?
All of them.
Yes. I was a first-team All-American. I'm better than Bronco Nagurski.
Every team in America is looking around going, wait a minute, how come we don't have so-and-so? Tennessee fans are like, Peyton Manning's not the quarterback.
Didn't win a Heisman. Didn't win a national title. Got blown up his last game as a college player against Nebraska in 1997. But what's fun about this, Ross, it takes you down memory lane. Because look what we did, not just for this team, but you start going through your own childhood memories and recent memories of Iowa. You start going, okay, could they have been on this team, right? And then and every fan of every team can start playing in their own head who your favorite players are.
Yeah.
One player that's not on the list, but he was one hell of a player, is Brandon Sheriff. Brandon Sheriff announced that he's retired after 10 seasons in the NFL, Ross. And I mean, out of Denison, Iowa, what a great career at Iowa. First round draft pick, went and played a number of seasons in Washington and ended his career with the Jaguars. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler. Did you know that?
Yeah, dude, he's had a great career.
Yes.
Great career. So there's been a lot of Hawkeyes that have done that. Kirk Ferentz has done a very good job of preparing a bunch of dudes for that NFL life. And that's one of them. Yep. Job well done, man. Somebody posted yesterday, I saw that when he got drafted, there were people that were like, what are we doing? People screenshotted those and saved them for a decade later so they could remind them.
Aren't most NFL fans like that when you draft an offensive or defensive lineman? You're like, we got a first-round draft pick. You got to take a skill player.
We didn't draft a quarterback? Why didn't we draft a running back? Yeah. So but great career.
10 years, that's a long time to play in the league because the average is less than 2.
Line? Dude, to play the line?
How about this? He started every game he was involved. Take out the injury. He started 140 games. Every game he participated in, he started. I think that's an even more impressive stat. So, what if he'll move back to Denison? Say, you know what? I'm going to go to Denison. Going home, going to do some hunting, going to do some farming. Be an ambassador for Hawkeye football. 515-517-2303. That's the number to call. I know.
That hour went fast. Dude, this has been a fast week.
A very fast week. I know time's the same, but some days just feel faster than others. And some weeks feel faster than others.
I don't think I'm going to be able to go fishing.
Why?
They don't have any beds on the island. I thought they were going to have a couple empty beds for us to go up and go fishing here in a couple weeks. And got the text yesterday. Said, hey, man, I think we're too full. Can't get you in.
By the way, that's a good problem for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great problem. But I wrote back. I'm like, I'm not giving up. So, yeah. So Dusty's listening right now. Dusty goes, Dusty, we got invited to go up and stay in the sleeper cabin with GM. And then got the invite rescinded.
Man.
But the Hawks there's 2 weeks, back-to-back weeks. It's where it's night games. One's the Friday night game. Right? So I could go up on September 20th. That'd be a Friday night. Hawks kick off at 7 that night. We're going to be doing Black and Gold Rush afterwards. I'd get to the island. I'd watch the game. I'd do the show from the island. I could fish Saturday. I could fish Sunday. And I could do the show Monday morning and then get up and drive home.
You got it down to a science.
We're praying. Put some good juju out there in the universe for me.
It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
At Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, we know that the only way to do business is the fair way. That means honest quotes, no surprises, and work that speaks for itself. From the first sketch to the final sweep, we keep you in the loop because communication builds trust, and trust builds beautiful spaces. Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, fair, skilled, thorough. Just the way it should be.
Brendan Santone, sales manager at Willis Cadillac, here with you in August, getting ready for back to school time and state fair. They have all kinds of great specials going on this month. Quite a few lease specials. EVs still have the EV tax credit through the end of September. I have quite a few to pick from. IQs, Optics, Lyrics, and the all-new Vistic as well. Stop out and see us over on 100th Street in Clive, or visit us online at williscadillac.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show. Happy Friday, everybody. Glad you're joining us this morning. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you. Hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Like the video, leave your comments, and, of course, follow us on our social media channels. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Today is Judgment Day for the University of Michigan. Judgment Day. Michigan was alerted yesterday that the NCAA this afternoon will announce its findings and possible punishment for the infamous, what does that mean? Really famous?
I think it means more than famous.
Sign stealing scandal. Now, for the record, sign stealing is not illegal in the NCAA. It is in-person scouting that is illegal by the NCAA. And Connor Scallions, is it? Yes. Is it Stallions or Scallions?
Stallions. Whatever.
Stallions. I don't know why I wanted to call him an onion. But it they'd found in the notice of allegations, Ross, that he had booked or purchased tickets to a lot of opponents' games. This dated back many years. And a lot of times it's usually the cover-up that is worse than the crime itself, meaning you had Sharon Moore, who's already offered to be suspended for 2 games this season, erased text messages. Every coach that's been associated with it said they had no idea. Had no idea what Connor was doing.
They gave him the freaking game ball.
Had no idea.
They gave him the game ball after the Iowa game. The game I took Eli to that game. I sat in Bill Blank's seats in the front row of the game, and Connor Stallions won the game. I didn't even know who he was. I'd never heard his name before. Didn't hear his name for another year. And it turns out that's how the Hawkeyes got dismantled that day, was because of that. That's who got the game. He got the game ball. They didn't know.
They may have known that he knew how to decipher signs, but they didn't know he was lining up people to go scout. Right. Always the cover-up usually is worse than the crime. The interesting part here that I'm kind of shocked about, and people may have to refresh my memory. What I find odd about this is that the NCAA is going to have a press conference Do you remember the NCAA having a press conference talking about
press release?
A press release,
Yeah.
but they're actually going to have a news conference. They're going to get up and talk about this. And
Good,
I'm like,
good. Get in front of this mess.
well,
4 years later. Good. Control the narrative, NCAA. Get out there and get a press conference out there. Really answer some questions. Open up the room. Explore the space of this a little bit, NCAA. See how that works out for you a little bit. Going to publicly announce its findings and punishments. That's their plan today. There was a freaking documentary. There's a documentary where the guy that you're investigating says, oh man, here's all the things I did. Here's the days I went. This is where I did this, how I did it. This is how I broke down the signs. Dude, this should be interesting. I'm sure this is like media days. What this press conference today is going to be like media days. You know what we're going to learn? A bunch of stuff we already knew. The NCAA is going to get out there and they're going to push their glasses up. It's important that we preserve the integrity
of the game of college football.
I would bet you money. I wonder if there's a place offshore that I can actually place a bet that they use that phrase, preserve the integrity of the game.
But to me, this doesn't even come close to endangering the integrity of the game. Of all the things that I've cared about, this is one that I don't care about, because even if you did schedule in-person scouting, up until what, the late 80s, early 90s, in-person scouting was legal, and the only reason they got rid of it is because of travel costs. You go to a high school game today, you'll find an opposing coach on the other sideline scouting. And if sign stealing isn't illegal, what are we doing here?
Travis, stupid rules. This is the type of stuff that Jamie Pollard told us about, how, man, it's weird when we all get in a room and we make rules and then we walk out of the room and some of those guys shut the door and go, hey guys, I know the loophole. I know the way around the rule I just created. And here's the way around the rule. We're going to ignore it. We're going to ignore it. We're going to stop in-person scouting. No, you're not. We're going to stop players getting paid under the table. No, you're not. Well, we're going to make it illegal and try to bring it above the board. No, you're not. You have no jurisdiction. You've lost all your teeth. This is comical. There's literally a documentary featuring the guy. It's not like it's done behind the shadows. Connor Stallion stands up in front of a camera and shows you how he deciphered everything. You sit in his bedroom with him and he says, here's where I sat on the couch. This is where I stood. This is where I watched the TV.
By the way, brilliant, by the way. To be able to do that, you're brilliant. You have a brain that is...
Really is. And so now, a year after that documentary was released, the NCAA is going to have a press conference. Good news, everybody. We got him. We got him. Are you ready? Everybody got their pens and papers. The gentleman's name is Connor Stallions is the guy's name. 1L, Connor Stallions. You guys get that written down? Yeah, he's got an IMDb page. We know about him. And here's how this worked, guys. And here's who we're going to punish. Sharon Moore getting punished. I don't have any, I know that the first argument is like, well, you're punishing the guys that didn't do anything wrong. Not really.
I mean, Sharon Moore was part of this. I mean,
they knew.
He erased text messages that he was having with Stallion. You erase those for a reason.
He stood next to the coordinators. They knew. They gave him the freaking game ball. Not the quarterback, not the running back, not the offensive coordinator, not the defensive coordinator. Hell, they didn't give the punter the game ball. They gave it to the dude that stole the signs in the locker room. And then they, oh, what? We just did it because he dressed the nicest. I love Nick. I love Nick. Yeah, make all these rules. And Congress doesn't do insider trading. Exactly right, Nick. That's a great comment. We're going to make rules that say things, and then we're going to do other things. But the rules say things. This would be a funny press conference, don't you think?
Well, because it just doesn't happen. I can't remember the last time the NCAA did a press conference. It's usually a press release or just here you get the letter from the NCAA to the university saying this is your punishment. These are our findings. For the NCAA to say, okay, we're going to have a public news conference Friday afternoon, which weird timing. Here we are a couple weeks from the season. Now you're going to just launch this. Does it accept the proposed punishment from Michigan about, suspending more for the third and fourth games of the season? And can you even take the NCAA seriously? That you bring up, that's the thing is, how do we look at the NCAA and go, you're a person of authority?
I don't know that you. I don't know who does or why you would. They've got some authority and they can drop the hammer and they can. But in my opinion, they've lost all credibility a decade ago. A decade ago, they lost their credibility. I don't know who would possibly be. I don't know. It has merit, and it's going to matter. What they say today does. Like when I say they don't have any teeth left, not quite true because they do have some authority to
strip scholarships and stuff like that.
Levy some real punishments that can really hurt the university for a period of time. Should they? And if they do, then why didn't they? Like this is the problem. It's the timing of it all. Especially with how quickly everything moves in the NCAA. The only thing that's still around is the logo. Again, I say that, but then you do have Sharon Moore. You do have some of these coaches. Jim Harbaugh is not there. The NCAA moves that slow that Harbaugh's gone. Connor Stallions is gone. His career's done. All the punishments have happened, and now you come around to the smoldering ashes and kick it around a little bit.
Restart the flame. Yeah, I don't know how much power the NCAA will have moving forward. Of course, college football has hired like a CEO, and and we pick on the NCAA. We have to be careful here. And what I mean by that is we think it on this large scale. The NCAA does do a lot of good, especially when it comes to Division II. It does serve a purpose. I totally understand it. We've actually heard, I think it might have been Jamie Pollard, who say, would you ever want to leave the NCAA? Well, from a structural standpoint, they do provide some guidance, and you have that stuff kind of written right there. It makes it, you would be blowing the whole thing up, and then you probably have even more chaos.
Yeah.
Of course, Jim Harbaugh has a 4-year show cause if you ever were to get back into college coaching, but that was from improper recruiting violations, I believe, from the COVID years. And tell me a coach that did not improperly recruit during the COVID years. The COVID years should be just thrown out because they did so many dumb things they were reactionary. They weren't proactive. They're like, oh my God, you can't be around anybody. Don't contact a recruit. You're trying to build a football team. You're trying to build a basketball team. How do you not recruit?
Jim Harbaugh spent the night at a recruit's house. Jim Harbaugh took a pair of Jordans to the Pope. But we draw this weird line of what's right, what was wrong, what's permissible, what's impermissible. Well, hold on. That stuff, put that on ESPN. That's hilarious. It's funny. It's good. Wait, he didn't buy a kid a dinner, did he? Whatever it is. He didn't contact a player outside of the permissible window. He can go to the Vatican And that's fun. He can spend the night, do all the fun stuff. It's so dumb, dude. I hate it so much. I hate it.
The one thing the NCAA can't do here that it's done in basketball is take away national titles and make you take banners down. Because the NCAA does not run college football. It cannot say you are no longer the national champions.
If it doesn't run
year.
college, whatever. This is going to take another hour. What do you mean they don't run college football, but now they get to punish the football coach for football violations for a game that they don't control years at? Can we please light the freaking match on this thing already? Please. I think the match is lit. Can we start to flame the fire of burn it?
Get the stoker out.
Down. Bus says NCAA does a very good job of running the national title tourneys for the Olympic sports. That's what Jamie Pollard was getting at. It's like, from an organizational body, they do a really fantastic job and they provide a lot of wonderful things for us.
And probably things we don't even see from an internship standpoint, from a career development standpoint for these smaller schools. I'm not going to deny that.
Right.
But we don't see the NCAA at that level. We see the NCAA at the highest level where, they believe in equity. And that's starting to change where, you would have the Division III would have about the same amount of voice as Division I. But you can't have that, right? I mean, it's hard you have to have rules that are specific for each type of school. It can't be blanket across the board. You can't treat a Division III school like UW Platteville or Central, right? You can't treat Central like you do Iowa. Just can't. So that's coming today. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Michigan. You going to be hungry next Wednesday, Ross? Going to be hungry next Wednesday? Of course you're going to be hungry. You might want to drive up to Wisconsin. You might want to go to Milwaukee.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the George Webb restaurants? George Webb restaurants?
That vaguely rings a bell. What am I missing here? What are they?
Well, so George Webb restaurants are in Milwaukee and Wisconsin. I've never heard of George Webb restaurants, but they're hamburger joints, right?
Okay.
Starting back in the 1940s, the George Webb restaurant said, hey, if the Milwaukee Braves win 17 in a row, they're going to give free hamburgers to everybody in the city of Milwaukee. Well, they never hit that. Then the Braves left Milwaukee. And later on, I think it was 1970, they changed the promotion to 13 games in a row. Well, then, they changed it later on to be 12 games in a row. The Brewers have won 12 games. So for the third time in history, which is a promotion that started back in the 1940s, George Webb is going to give out free hamburgers to everybody who claims a voucher in the city of Milwaukee. I can't imagine the cost of this, but let's use this as an example. They're going to do it from 2 to 6 next Wednesday at 23 different locations. Who would have thought there were 23 different locations?
In Milwaukee?
In 1997, when this happened, they gave away 170,000 hamburgers.
If I remember right, in 97, that was at the beginning of the year. Didn't the Brewers start red hot? Like when you said that, I was like, man, I can remember the Brewers starting a season like crazy hot, but maybe they didn't win 12 or 97. They won 12 in a row.
Yeah.
They gave away how many burgers in that time?
170,000 burgers. Then it happened again in 2018. They gave away 90,000 burgers, and there were like 100,000 unclaimed vouchers. So you had to go to the restaurant to get a voucher, and then you have to come back on that Wednesday.
All right. How many burgers the first time in 97?
170,000.
And then the second time it was 90,000?
But you also had 100,000 unclaimed vouchers, meaning they probably just couldn't go back because there's only a certain time you can, and I understand that. You can't have it open-ended.
Yeah.
So, like now, I think this weekend you go claim your voucher, and then Wednesday you have from 4 to 6 to.
It's a great promotion.
2 to 6.
It's a great promotion. It's a cool promotion. This is Taco Bell giving away free tacos for the stolen base in the World Series. Have you ever done it?
No.
Neither have I. Why? Because I don't like Taco Bell.
Oh, I love me some Taco Bell.
Oh, God.
Love me some Taco Bell.
You saying that sentence just gave me diarrhea. My guess here, going from 170,000 to 90,000. My guess is there's a reason we haven't heard of George Webb. There's 23 locations, so it's got to be pretty good.
It's been around since the 1940s.
It's got to be pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Cool promotion. That's a really cool idea. I think it's neat that they've like held onto it and continued to do it. That's a neat thing.
I mean, do they care about quality at this point? I mean, do you go, hey, this may be somebody's first ever trip to George Webb. We got to make sure it's a really good hamburger. Or is it like it's just a patty and the way beef costs right now? I don't know if you've gone to buy a pound of hamburger.
Oh,
it's
buddy.
Not cheap.
Oh, buddy.
It's not cheap. So kind of like Mattress Mac, right? Who does crazy things in Houston.
Yeah.
I wonder if they or if you go to a golf tournament, you have the hole-in-one. And you get a free car, you get $10,000 cash or something like that. But those are all based on an insurance policy.
Remember, Kirk Triplett walked us through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he had an insurance company that provided that. I wonder if George Webb has like hamburger insurance. Like, hey, we have this promotion. Because even if it's listen, if it's 20,000 hamburgers you're giving away free, that's a lot of money. The patty alone is probably going to cost you $1, just the way hamburger costs right now.
Can I ask you a very real, very dumb question?
No dumb questions here.
How does the insurance company hedge that bet? So an insurance company says, okay, we'll take that on. And then all of a sudden the Brewers have won 11 straight.
I don't know if you hedge the bet, but you're playing the long game here. Let's say they've purchased insurance every year for whenever this stuff is, and the last time it happened was 2018. So, I mean, you're probably not going to be void of all the cost, but you probably get yourself an actuary. We can go to Drake University where actuarial science is a big deal, or we can just call him Brad Heinrichs.
I'm calling Brad Heinrichs.
We're going to call Brad Heinrichs.
Yeah.
And we're going to say, Brad, how would you do this? You would probably go the probability of that long of a win streak. I mean,
anyway, I what a cool promotion. Glad they're doing it, and good for the Brewers for winning free burgers for everybody in Milwaukee.
I wonder if they change it going forward, because normally it's like, hey, free pizza for anybody who's in the stadium or in the arena, and you can show your ticket stub.
That's what I thought you were going to say. When you said receive the voucher, I thought you were going to say, for anybody that can prove they've had a ticket to one of the games or something like that. So I think that's really cool. It's a small version of the Taco Bell thing.
Well, and here's where George Webb comes out, right? Because it's, on the Major League Baseball page of ESPN.com, and we're talking about it. I'm sure we're not the only ones talking about it, but the amount of free media they get out of something like this is advertising they could never afford to pay for. While we're speaking of food, Ross pointed this out to me, and here it is.
Oh, dude, this is great. Hold on.
Marshawn Lynch has himself a cookbook. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see Marshawn Lynch Yeast Mode cookbook. If you are listening on the audio stream, just Google search Marshawn Lynch's cookbook, and that'll pop up. Is he a happy cook? Is he a happy chef?
If you can't see this, it's worth the moment to go Google it and check out the image search of this. Just Google Marshawn Lynch cookbook. It is called Yeast Mode, as Travis said. You need to see the photo on the front of this cookbook. I've never seen a person less enthused to have their photo taken in my life.
Food's supposed to make you happy, right?
And Marshawn Lynch has one of the his personality is amazing. Remember him dancing, driving the golf cart around the stadium at Cal? Like this dude's personality jumps out at this. This looks like it was taken in a hostage situation. Yeast mode, baking with Marshawn. Also, one of my favorite genres of entertainment right now, okay, which is the celebrity cookbook. I think it's hysterical. I have one. I have a Snoop Dogg cookbook. It's not cooking with weed. It's just like Snoop's recipes with Snoop or something, right? And it's written, I should grab it, dude. The recipes are written as though Snoop Dogg wrote them. You know what I'm saying, Travis?
Yes, I do know what you're saying.
They throw for shizzle in the middle of the recipe, and you know what I mean? Use a dizash of salt. And Snoop Dogg didn't write that. Some white lady was like, "Oh, this is gonna be cute. I'm gonna take my yeast recipes and we're gonna put Marshawn Lynch. We're gonna pay Marshawn Lynch to be on the cover of it." I'm not saying Marshawn Lynch doesn't bake bread. I'm not trying to say he doesn't bake bread. What I'm saying is Marshawn Lynch does not have bread recipes.
Isn't that the same with like almost any cookbook that's out there?
Any of them. With I'm sure there's exceptions. Rachel Ray, but even Betty Crocker wasn't real.
He's just staring at the camera going,
dude,
take the picture, man.
That's not a man that's happy. And again, Marshawn Lynch is the guy that I feel like he's kind of like me. You can feel his mood. You just get run over your face over and over and over and over and over.
Here's what I'd like to see. Coming soon, the Reverend Ray State Fair Foods Cookbook.
I listened. Could you sell it?
Yeah.
Put a giant pot leaf behind Ray.
Everybody's wanting Reverend Ray to put out a cookbook.
We need a Reverend Ray baking book. That's great, JT.
Brian said next book, it's already setting up for his next book, which is feast mode. You go from yeast mode to feast mode.
JT, I got to tell you, I need to send an article to you, JT, because yesterday we talked about bowling and JT called in, right? And he kind of gave us some of that insight on bowling. And I mentioned that Courtney's stepdad, Kevin, is in the Hall of Fame. And then one of our listeners wrote in and was like, "Oh my God, that's Coach. That dude's awesome." And remember, he even wrote he tries to bowl a 298 because he has so many 300 games. So we're driving down to Lawrence yesterday, and Courtney finds this article about when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, which was like 10 years ago. Travis, he has like 190 300 games.
190?
It's ridiculous. I don't remember how many it was. 120? 100 some. He has so many that he doesn't want to get 300. He's trying for a 298. JT just said the same thing. Here's how you get a 298. So, to get a 300 game, it's not just bowling the 10 strikes. You've also got to bowl your 11th and 12th.
Yep.
Right? To get a 298, you have to bowl the first 11 strikes and then get 2 pins on the last frame, on the last ball. You have to get 11 straight strikes and then knock down 2 pins at the end. And so that's he goes bowling to do that now.
Has he ever had a 298?
He never has. That's why he does it. That's why he continues to. That's what he shoots for, apparently. I haven't had a chance to talk to Kevin since we talked about this yesterday, but.
What's your goal? 298. Why? I've never had a 298. Well, 300's the best. I've had 190
I've had
of those.
so many of those. It's Kirk triplet. You have how many hole-in-ones? You mean in competition, right? How do you have so many hole-in-ones? It's really easy. You just get the ball going in the right direction.
That simple.
Like it's putt-putt. Like it's putt-putt, he says.
515-517-2303. We got a half hour to go. Thanks for hanging with us. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Summer break is winding down and school is starting. Done on the drop-off line this year with a new Chevy from Willis Chevy. For the month of August, you get 0% financing on select TurboMax, Silverado 1500 trucks. And if an SUV is more your speed, you can take advantage of $299-month lease on the incredible 2025 Chevy Equinox. Get your back-to-school shopping done right at Willis Chevy in Granger, just 15 miles north of the metro. Stop into our showroom or visit us online at willischevy.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hey, it's Marion with Willis Volvo Cars. With all those miles you put on your car over the summer and any last-minute road trips you have before school starts, your car might be ready for maintenance. Come on down to get an alignment for $179.95 and $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at willisvolvocars.com.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Pump it up with unleaded 88. It's cheaper, it's cleaner, it's a greener fuel choice, making it clear winner at the pump. So pump it up with unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org for more. During the break, I needed to get refreshed, Ross. So when I went to the refrigerator and I picked up myself a refreshing Fresca from Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. It's sparkling water with a citrus taste, grapefruit, and it's good. It's really good. I don't hear you. Where'd Ross go?
Dude, it keeps muting. What the hell's going on? You got me now?
Yeah, I got you. That was weird.
There's a new button. That is very refreshing, man. I am not the zero sugar is great for me. I don't really like carbonation usually. But man, the other night I was thirsty. I was laying in bed. I had some crackers there. I'm like, yeah. I went down. I cracked open a Fresca. Like a couple of sips. It's like, oh yeah,
yeah. I'm doing like 3 cans of these a day.
Oh no, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm all in on the Fresca.
Too many bubblies.
See, and that's where you and I are different. So, like when you go to Europe a lot, they'll ask you if you want still or sparkling water. I'm a sparkling water guy. I love the sparkle.
makes my tummy get bubbly. And then I get
to churn a little bit.
And then I get farty.
Oh. So if you haven't had a Fresca lately, make sure to pick up a 12-pack or a case, or even when you're walking through your C-store, just go, oh, there's a Fresca. I'm going to have a Fresca today. You got big plans this weekend, Ross?
Coming to the Iowa State Fair on Saturday, coming to Omaha on Sunday.
Cool. All right, so you and I are going to hook up at the Iowa State Fair, I think, tomorrow. We're going to be at JR South Pork Ranch. And time's running out, folks. This is the last weekend of the fair. If you haven't been to JR South Pork Ranch to enjoy, the lobster roll, the chicken pickle ranch rocket, the AE party balls, the party atmosphere, the pink party cooler beer, Pedro the donkey, JR's has everything you need. Really does. It's like the hub of activity. So... And tomorrow we'll be there. I'll be there from 2:30 to 4:30. I don't know if you'll be there the whole time, Ross, but my son Owen and his band is going to be playing, so that'll be fun to catch it up. So come on out to JR South Pork Ranch and have a little bit of fun. And then you're coming to Omaha. Is she moving in on the Exarban Village? Is she in the Exarban Village?
I have no idea. No idea. No clue.
If she's in Exarban Village, she'll like that because it's like you got a dog park right there. You got a lot of restaurants and stuff. So,
I'll be in touch. We'll see. Yeah, we'll chat tomorrow. Be showing houses this afternoon and hustling, golfing today. I got a busy couple of days planned here, buddy. Yeah, it's what I do. I move. I shake.
Mover, shaker, realtor, moneymaker.
What else we got for today? You got fun stuff? You want me to?
The Minnesota Vikings are under a little bit of heat, Ross.
Okay.
Fans are revolting. They've become a national spotlight because they have male cheerleaders this year. And this one cracks me up. I'm trying to figure out why people are so upset about this. Believe it or not, and I think I came to the conclusion of why people are upset. It doesn't bother me that cheerleaders, I don't want to offend any parents of cheerleaders out there. I don't go to games for cheerleaders. I don't really understand the need for cheerleaders, but that's me. Over a third of the NFL teams have male cheerleaders.
Yeah.
This isn't something new. What I think the Vikings, where it got everybody in a tizzy, they announced it on Instagram, is that it was the male cheerleaders dancing, and I'll use the word flamboyant, and dancing more like, instead of being the male cheerleader we think of where you hold a girl by her butt and you throw her up in the air and you do all that stuff. They have this video that's a dance video of a guy that's very flamboyant and dances just like the girls. And I think that's where people lost their mind. Why? I don't know. Doesn't offend me at all. Because again, using your words, if you're offended, that's probably a you problem.
Yep. Yeah. And Travis, dude, this has been a veer here because I didn't know about the story. And when you said people have a problem with male cheerleaders, I was like, well, dude, male cheerleaders make a cheerleading unit way better. I'm listen, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, what do they call it?
Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
They do an amazing job, but man, when you get one of those dudes out there that can launch a lady up into the air, or they can do that thing with their whole, that is really cool. And I have enjoyed that at Hawkeye games, and they do the thing like there's that contest where they'll try to hold the cheerleader up with one arm as long as they can. I think that having guys in the cheerleading team is totally fine. Then I clicked the video and I watched the video as you were describing. I hit the video and I was like, oh, this isn't what I had in my head. This is not the male cheerleader that I was.
No, he's one of the girls here.
But you also said something else that's really important there. He dances just like the girls. Like if you just when the camera zooms back and he does the back, that's how most dance routines start, is one person does something special and it kind of kicks off the rest of the group and they all dance in unison together. That's exactly what it was. Are people mad because they think it is a celebration of homosexuality?
If I were a betting man, I would say yes.
And that's where it gets to the point of, if you're offended by this, it's a you problem. I don't see that as a celebration of sexuality, of his homosexuality. I see that as a dancer dancing with his teammates and dance mates, or whatever you call a dance troupe.
I mean, for
it's
years,
real impressive, by the way, because I can't do any of the stuff that they do.
I can't dance like that. Go to a Broadway show or a Broadway musical, and you're like, these dudes can dance. And you probably have somebody who goes, I'm a dancer. I want to be a dancer. And for years would have never been allowed on a team because he wasn't a female. Here, I'm just like, I'm trying to think why people would have been so upset about it. And I think it's because they're not used to seeing somebody in that role. And you're like, really?
I'm reading that from Newsweek.com. It says, actor Kevin Sorbo wrote on X, had a post on X with 29 million views that says, I've been a Vikings fan all my life. Guess I need a new team now.
I would say this happens in life, and not just with cheerleaders, but anytime we see somebody do a role that they're not traditionally in for, it's like a shock to the system. And they don't, first time you saw a female ref a male basketball game, you have this preconceived notion. There's no way you can do it. We just had our first female umpire. She was behind the plate. She did fine. Are you good at your job? That's all I care about. Can you do the job? And this dancer, he can do a job. Pretty good. But to go, I'm not going to support the team. Why?
You could have just scrolled past it.
Yes, you didn't have to watch it.
As soon as you saw the guy do the backflip and pop a hip, you could have gone, oh, that's not for me. That's allowed. Because you don't have to go, who approved this? I don't.
The guys who are mad clicked the Instagram video and went, our cheerleaders. And all they were expecting to see are really hot girls dancing. And the first thing you see is a dude coming at you. You're like, whoa, whoa. And that triggered him.
I literally, Travis, I love this. Is the fun story because when you said the Vikings had male cheerleaders, in my mind, I saw
big hulky dudes.
These dudes, yeah, those dudes that come out there. They're like, all right, number one.
I mean,
here we go.
How many times have you seen an Iowa State or an Iowa male cheerleader go, why aren't you in uniform? I mean, because they're that big.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Say that.
Why aren't you in uniform? Well, I mean, they have the body to play football.
Yeah. Why aren't you a linebacker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's your pads at?
Yeah, we could use you.
Yeah.
Hell, Texas A&M, their yell squad is all male.
Dude, Texas A&M does some weird culty stuff.
It does, but it's really cool to see in person.
Okay. Huh?
Gig 'em.
Some stuff is stupid. Some stuff just happens because it happened, and we want it to continue to happen, and it's just stupid.
But it's our stupid. And that's what they'd say. It's our stupid.
Right.
We don't ask you to like it. It's our stupid.
All right.
I guarantee there's traditions at Iowa and Iowa State.
Oh, absolutely.
That people go, really?
Absolutely.
And you'll defend it because it's your stupid.
The swarm. I guarantee there's people that are like, they like slow jog out of the tunnel holding hands. Cool.
Who doesn't want to run out of the tunnel?
You don't get it, man. You don't get it. And then honestly, talk to like Tyler Kluver. Remember our conversation with Derek Pagel? Talk to any dude who's been in that tunnel. Their soul lights on fire when you talk about that moment. They go, best 30 seconds of my life, man. So It's everybody's got their own. That's stupid, right? Don't yuck my yum, dude.
You just don't understand. You've never been a part of it. While we're on the subject of cheerleaders, let's move to mascots. Rocky the mascot in Denver.
Rocky, the Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
He's like one of the most highly paid, isn't he?
Yeah, makes a lot of money. Drake Solomon played Rocky for 3 seasons. Drake needed some surgery to prevent some life-threatening things and then had to have his hip replaced. They terminated him after he came back because they wanted to have tryouts. And they didn't rehire him, and he's suing the Nuggets now for wrongful termination, using the Americans with Disabilities Act, saying when he came back from surgery, he faced a hostile work environment. You know, he'd won before. He had the job, but then he had a hip replaced, and they went ahead and had tryouts and hired somebody new to play Rocky. He's saying, no, I was fired because of my disability. Well, I guess with a new hip, and I don't know the answer to this, can you perform said duties like you were supposed to perform said duties? And are you guaranteed a slot as a mascot every single year? Does Iowa try out a new Herky every year? I know Notre Dame tries out a new Leprechaun every year.
Iowa does have new Herkies, and it's usually, I think it's almost always students, if not always students.
Yeah.
Scott Casper was Herky for a while when he was in college.
Does not surprise me.
Surprises nobody that knows Scott. The Denver Nuggets mascot Rocky the Mountain Lion is the highest paid mascot in the NBA, earning an annual salary of. If you want to know why this guy's suing, $625,000.
Oh my God. You're making over $500,000 playing Rocky? No, what? You're like, yeah, you just took my livelihood away.
600.
You don't understand. I bought the $3 million home based on the fact that I was going to be Rocky. And Drake Solomon probably thought he was going to be Rocky for a long time because his dad was Rocky for 30 years. This was a family thing. His dad played Rocky, was the first Rocky, and was Rocky for 30 years. $600,000 to be a mascot.
That's a family racket.
You think?
$625,000? Aren't there how many home games are there in the NBA?
Well, I think that probably includes like public appearances. They get paid to go out to the mall. They get paid to go to high schools. They get paid to go, you want Rocky to come to your birthday party. You're going to pay probably a couple $1,000s for that.
I love how you're like, well, listen, it might be harder than just the.
It's a year-round job, Ross. You don't understand what it takes to be a mascot.
It's not just 9 to 5. Okay.
And look at the wear and tear that goes on my body.
You got to go to little kids' birthday parties. And then what do you have to do when you show up at little kids' birthday parties? Well, you have to put on a costume. And then what?
Got to be Rocky.
Got to be Rocky. And now when he's at the game, they do amazing stuff. You got to be incredibly athletic, acrobatic. I'm not surprised at all that when you break a hip, you can't continue to do the job. I'm not surprised that they have tryouts for the damn thing. I mean, dude, the stuff that they do with that mascot is really, really impressive.
I mean, to me, the Nuggets covered their ass. They just didn't fire him. They said, hey, we're going to have tryouts, which is their right to do so. And you can go to a court of law and say, you aren't Rocky because you didn't finish first in the Rocky tryout. Now, when you try out for Rocky, do you got to put the costume on?
I was just going to say, it's a blind tryout.
Blind test?
It's got to be a blind tryout.
Because if it's not, then you bring bias into it.
Yeah. That's how the nepotism gets involved.
I should get him on. I had a friend of a friend. So my brother-in-law, Justin, his friend was the Buffalo Bills mascot for a number of years.
Justin knows everything.
He does.
Got his fingers in everything, dude. He and I were talking about BJ Penn when we were together at your mom's funeral.
Really?
Yeah. He's got great stories, dude. So what's this one?
So his buddy, I think Bernie, his brother, or it might have been Bernie himself, was the Buffalo Bills mascot. He went from being the Nebraska mascot. He was Lil Red, and then tried out to be the Buffalo Bills mascot. Went up to Buffalo and made six figures being the Buffalo Bills mascot.
Dude. The Buffalo Bills have a mascot?
I didn't know that either.
Billy the Buffalo, or just Billy Buffalo. What? That's a real thing.
Now, Bus says, father-in-law was VP at Lennox. Introduced me to the actor that did Dave Lennox for a couple of decades. Huge full-time corporate commitment for appearance beyond just commercials. Interesting guy.
See, I'd always heard some weird stories about the Menards guy. You remember the guy from Menards?
Menards!
Yeah, Menards.
Bushy gray-haired dude?
Yeah. But I think the stories I heard were
not
old
flattering?
wives' tales. No. They were old wives' tales. They weren't true. The story I had heard was that he was just some dude on the board. Yeah, he was on the board of directors, and the business started to grow. And they're like, "Hey, we're gonna start making commercials. We're gonna hire an actor." And this guy was like, "We don't need to hire an actor. I can do it. Menards. You guys can pay me." But I looked that up one time because I was like, "Yeah, I've heard that story so often about how that guy became." He was always. Remember how excited he was about?
Oh yeah, he loved himself some Menards.
Oh, but I think I found out he was just a paid dude, like the Lennox guy. Lennox guy couldn't fix your furnace. He just
Lennox guy was like an overalls guy with like a cap
railroad cap hat on. Yeah. Had the little mustache, gray mustache. Very trusting face. The Lennox man.
It's who you would let into your house to fix your air conditioner in furnace.
Dude, and I did get a chance to meet our priority one the other day. Dude, Josh is the real deal. That was a fun conversation with a really good guy.
Where'd you meet him at? Because he's a veteran too, right?
We went and met at Destination Grill up in Grimes. It was really good, actually. And then, but got a chance to meet with him. So anybody, as we're getting into kind of a good season here for your HVAC, now is the time to get set up with like maintenance plans or have some maintenance done. If you have any issues, priority one. He is an awesome guy. I want to get him on to kind of talk to us about his life, his business, how he got to where he is, his family, and all that stuff. Because the more people get to know him, the more they're going to love him. So,
and right now, a really small family-owned business. I mean,
that's it. He just broke out. I mean, doing what a lot of people do. He did the job. He looked around. He's like, man, this corporate thing, there is no reason that this should be costing this much money and doing this stuff and the gimmicky stuff that happens under the corporate names. And he just decided, man, this is a lot better if I can just do this on my own. So he started his own deal and is in his first year of business. So trying to help him out here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got
Good
him.
dude.
Did he reach out to you, or does that just kind of range?
Yeah,
through?
yeah. He'd been working with our buddy Brandon. So
who are some other characters? The Rev says the Maytag repairman was the all-time best. Remember the Charmin guy who would don't squeeze the Charmin? Was that Mr. Whipple? Was that Mr. Whipple, the Charmin guy?
That's ringing a bell, but I can't. So for me, wasn't it Dunkin' Donuts that was time to make the donuts?
Oh, I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that one? The guy that would wake up in the morning. He was kind of a portly fella, and he was real low, slumbering, and his line as he would walk out the door was, "Time to make the donuts."
I don't remember that one.
And the thing with the Maytag repairman, like the gimmick there was that he never actually had to repair anything.
Wasn't that Gordon Jump who was on WKRP? He was the station manager.
That was him?
I thought it was.
No.
Okay.
Jesse White originated the role, played the old lonely repairman for over 2 decades. Oh, yes, it did. Yeah, you were right, dude. Other actors portrayed him, including Gordon Jump, Hardy Rawls, Clay Jackson, and most recently Colin Ferguson. Never heard of any of those names. Not one of them.
But once you see Gordon Jump, you know his face.
Yeah, and you're right. And that's one of the commercials. That's definitely the guy from WKRP. What would be some other ones? I might be the only one that's about to say this. I loved when KFC was doing all the different kernels.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah, I thought that was fun, man.
Now, I'm old enough to remember the original Colonel when the Colonel actually did the commercials. But when they had all those different varieties of actors who played the Colonel.
I never cared for the Dos Equis, the most interesting man in the world. That was always really dumb to me.
Yeah.
Bud
Anything
Light.
in sports that flies in this?
Bob Uecker doing I must be in the front row.
Yes.
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite.
Tastes great, less filling. And then when you were a kid and you'd go to Adventureland and you'd ride the Galleon, that was like the thing that people would yell. I remember being a kid on the Galleon dozens of times. And the ride would go up one side and all the guys would yell, "Tastes great!" And it would go up the other side and the people would yell, "Less filling!" And it would. Man, the memories. It's weird what your brain holds on to.
Do you guys have Godfather's Pizza in Des Moines?
We did have Godfathers in Des Moines. Yeah.
But you'd always have the guy, "Do it." And
yeah. They're the little the mobster guy.
Yeah, the mobster guy.
Yeah. I never liked the I still don't. I don't like the I don't know what the right word is for it. I don't like how we prop up mobsters. I don't.
And we do. It's
I
like
don't think that it's
like this glorified.
They're thieves. They did nothing.
They murdered people.
They stole from people. They provided zero value, and we prop them up like they did something. They were crooks. They were a bunch of thieves that just went around and they couldn't actually get a job. They couldn't actually produce anything. They couldn't actually help out. So they just beat the crap out of people till they could get their money. I never understood why we're like, oh, Al Capone.
Michael Corleone.
The Godfather.
Oh, yeah, for them, I can't refuse. If I could just talk like this a minute.
It's so stupid.
Oh, man, what a fast week. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you missed any part of the show, you can go rewatch it on YouTube. Go to therushradio.com and listen to the podcast replay. Also, while you're at therushradio.com, check out that merch tab. Get yourself a Rush Radio sweatshirt, T-shirt. A lot of different designs and varieties up there, including new this week, the Black and Gold Rush, which will be starting this fall. Our first week coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow as Iowa takes on Albany in the season opener. 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks. Thanks for listening all week long, and have a great weekend, everybody. See you tomorrow at the Iowa State Fair, 2:30 to 4:30. We'll be there at the Iowa State Fair at JR South Fork Ranch. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Body Armor, real hydration with electrolytes, no artificial dyes, and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Sean McFarland, Service Manager here at Mini of Des Moines. It's August, and while most of Iowa has shifted their attention to corn dogs and butter cows, us here at Mini of Des Moines are still focused on making sure your Mini is running properly and well maintained. Please give us a call or schedule your appointment online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.